You're listening to the Clutter Fairy Weekly, a weekly webcast and podcast brought to you by the Clutter Fairy in Houston, Texas. If you'd like to participate in one of our live webcasts, please visit cfhou.com/weekly. You'll find a calendar of upcoming webcasts, as well as instructions for joining the Zoom meeting via the app or by phone. We'd love to see you. That URL again is cfhou.com/weekly. Now here's the weekly episode. Enjoy.
Hi, Clutter Fairy fans. This is the Clutter Fairy Weekly for June 23rd, 2026. Happy summer. I'm your co-host, Ed Gumnick, and I'm speaking with Gayle Goddard, certified professional organizer and owner of the Clutter Fairy in Houston, Texas.
Hello, everybody. The Clutter Fairy Weekly is the webcast and podcast that digs deep into the clutter that piles up between you and the life that you want to be living. We explore the habits and behaviors that lead to clutter, and we suggest strategies to slow the accumulation, reduce the collection, and comfortably manage the stuff we decide to keep.
If you're new to our Zoom meeting, we want to let you know that you can share your comments and questions via the chat, and I'll try to make sure Gayle addresses them before we move on to another topic. You can also use the raised hand feature if you'd like to ask a question or make a comment yourself via audio or video. And we are streaming the webcast live on Facebook, so you can also share your questions and comments there, and I'll relay them to Gayle. We're going to start by talking about last week's weekly tittle, which was called Notch an Easy Win. We gave you a list of 50 ideas for quick ways to score a win. And we want to hear from our participants in Zoom and on Facebook who racked up one or a few of our quick wins this week. Please let us know in the comments. YouTube viewer Wanda Yonder 9772 shared her tittle report in a comment on last week's video. Wanda writes, "I felt quite smug when you read out the first few things as I'd already done them. Then, the list of undone things started to grow. The old meds to sort, the unsorted cleaning products, the 4-drawer filing cabinet. Plenty of homework to do. Thank you."
That one made me laugh because
Yeah.
I could totally be like, I could totally see somebody listening to the list and going, "Oh yeah, I've already done that. I've done that," and being smug about it. I love that. If you have already done it, you're entitled to feel smug. I appreciate that. You got to take the wins you've already accomplished, and if some of those things were things you'd already done, then I applaud you for feeling
Good for
smug
you.
about it, right?
You're entitled to feel smug for that moment.
That was funny.
And frequent contributor Ms. Leanite added her 2 cents. She had a similar experience. Ms. Leanite writes, "Thank you, Ed, Gayle, and Clutter Fairy fans." You notice I got top billing.
I saw that.
Ms. Leanite says, "I live in a small studio apartment and have no car, pets, or kids, so many of the 50 ways to leave your clutter don't apply. But the bags of well-marinated old mail and stashes of office supplies made me wince."
And you know what? The stashes of mail and office supplies, that applies 100% across the board. Like those two in particular, everybody has some mail somewhere that they haven't done something with, that they haven't put up, that they haven't handled. And, that's just the human condition right now. We all have mail, and it's the only difference is degrees, right? By degrees. I have mail right now sitting on the poof in front of my couch that has been opened and I need to do something with, but I haven't done anything with it. So it's waiting to be put away. I have places for it to go. I just haven't handled it yet. And so we all have some version of paper that needs management. And so you're not alone, Ms. Leanite. Thank you for that funny one.
Jacqueline has a tittle report. She says, "I've been doing a lot of work in my garden. Everything is looking great. I have to laugh at my partner because he has a vendetta against the groundhogs. We plant native plants to attract pollinators and local wildlife, and then he gets mad when they come. I have also made progress on my stained glass project. The glass pieces are all cut. Next, I have to figure out soldering."
Oh, that sounds like fun. So you're being crafty with the stained glass and you're also doing your garden at the same time. You're definitely doing summer activities. That's wonderful. And it sounds like, I love that your partner is simultaneously planning for and mad about the arrival of the wildlife. But I think it's funny because I think that it's kind of like I think men in gardens get in wars with like the squirrels, for instance,
Yes.
that are coming to eat the bird feeders, and they like create this whole thing about how I got to prevent the squirrels from getting the bird feeder, and it becomes this challenge to be managed and tackled. And so,
We
yeah.
made a very modest attempt to grow a few things against our back fence at the last place we rented that had a yard, and the chipmunk one
Oh,
chipmunk, because chipmunks are fiercely territorial, and so there will only be about one male chipmunk per I don't know what, per several or many acres. They
yeah,
stake out an
yeah,
area, and he left us, I think,
yeah.
one sunflower plant is what we got for
Out of
our
everything that you
efforts
did.
that year. Yeah. Um, but they're awfully cute, so we tolerate.
Mm.
Um, Brenda gave us a report, which I assume is the areas she tackled this week. She says junk drawer, medicine, and kitchen gadgets. So that's terrific.
Cool.
Um, CJ says I went through the cleaning products shelf, little win.
Oh, yeah, because you know what? We ignore cleaning products because they always feel um, valuable and important. Like they will always be the cleaning product, and everybody needs cleaning products. But then we have 4 million bottles, and we don't use them all because we don't like them all. And so, yeah, you can always thin the collection of cleaning products for a fast and furious win for sure.
Pat says got my things from being in storage for a year to put in garage to declutter for another move next spring.
Oh,
Got through all for past one and got rid of a truckload.
good job. That's really good. And you do not want to be trying to mess with storage units, a few weeks out from a move. That is the most annoying distraction from all the
Right.
other stuff you have to do in the house to go mess with the storage unit. So I applaud you for managing it a year out when you have the time and bandwidth to do it. And then you can like make considered decisions and really not be overburdening yourself at move time. So proud of you for doing that. Really proud.
Well, and I wonder if Pat was able to empty. Let us know, Pat, if you were able to empty that storage unit, or
Mm,
if you just reduced it. Because if you emptied it, there's another that's
that's another win.
9 months of rent you won't be paying. Um,
Hmm. Exactly.
let's see. Deborah says paper is my nemesis, and D in the Sierras chimed in, mine too,
Yeah.
and I count me in on that. Let's see.
Oh, storage
Mm,
is empty. Great, Pat. Congratulations.
oh, hooray! That's wonderful. Yeah.
We're doing a little storage empty dance for you. That's awesome.
And then we have some more conversation about squirrels. So I'm going to skip over that and
The
move
squirrel versus bird feeding war.
us on toward our main topic.
Okay.
Summer
Uh,
is here, and the living is supposed to be easy, right? But clutter can
right.
interfere with our ability to enjoy the extra daylight and leisure time that summer is supposed to offer. Well, it definitely offers the extra daylight.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to talk about tips for clearing summer-related clutter to make space for fun in the sun, the water, or your beautiful, peaceful home.
Even if you're a grown up without kids still at home or going to work during the week, when summer arrives, you start to relax a little. You spend the weekends doing outdoorsy things, or like me, you crank up the AC and stay inside. A lot of you plan road trips, travel out of town to see family, or go on proper vacations. The current vacation that everybody's doing this year is a FIFA World Cup. So people all over the world are traveling to go to the World Cup. So there's a lot of crazy vacation action happening around that. We imagine that summer means all this free extra time to do all the things we've been putting off during the previous seasons, like finally getting to organize some part of the house. It seems like it ought to be easy to declutter in the summer, but it actually isn't much different. Organizing is often derailed in the summer by the changes that summer brings. Our normal schedules and routines get disrupted by vacation season schedules and special activities. Kids go off to camp, business shift to summer hours, summer only activities kick off, like in outdoor performance venues that only offer stuff during the summer. So summer is actually like any other season with its unique distractions trying to redirect you away from decluttering. And the solution to not having your organizing efforts be derailed over the summer is to make your decluttering efforts suit the season. Since all this summer activity comes with gear and special clothes, it's time to pull out the summer wardrobe, get out the hiking, camping, pool, grilling gear, and start the summer relaxing activities. It all needs to come out of winter storage and get fluffed for use again. For some of us, pulling out the summer stuff is harder than others, especially if it's still in the pile that you left it in at the end of the summer last year. But now's the perfect time to find all the stuff, declutter the pile, find what's going to work for you now and what can't be salvaged to stage your gear for this summer's fun in the sun. So let's go through a likely pile of summer stuff and talk about decluttering it and setting it up for use now. And I wanted to start off with seasonal personal care products because you got to have insect repellent, sunscreen, first aid products, and things to treat when you get a sunburn and you get bug bites because that all ramps up in the summertime. These are all chemical formulas and they all have expiration dates. So let me tell you, I used an old sunscreen on my face once on a trip a million years ago when I went to Puerto Vallarta, and I about burnt my face off with it. As soon as I applied it and sat in the sun for about 10 minutes, it started to burn my face and I had to go wash it all off immediately. So don't mess around with these chemical products. Consider you bought a sunscreen for the season, and when the season's up, the sunscreen needs to go. And I'm going to ask you, how many of you have sunscreen in all of your bathrooms right now? We buy sunscreen, we buy more than one product, we use it for a couple months and it goes in the cabinet, and then you do it again and again and again. So I'm guessing that there is this kind of product in all of your cabinets and beach bags and everything everywhere. So it's time to get under the sink, get into your travel kits and your sports bags and pull it all out. Check the dates and make some hard decisions about what you're willing to risk on your skin when it's out of date. Anyway, how much sunscreen can you use this season? Like, you can only slather yourself so many times, and the older you are and the less you are outside, the less slathering you need. So it's it's a collection that gets bigger because you're not using it as fast as the collection the bottle provides. So if you're really not a big outdoor person and you're not going on hikes or gardening all the time or playing sports, you don't need the same volume of sunscreen and type products as somebody who's doing all those activities all the time. You may want one for your face, you may want one for the rest of you, and that should get you through the season. And all the previous year's products are likely not really safe to use anymore. The older they are, the more scared I'd be to put them on your body. So
Um,
time to
Gail,
toss them out.
I actually looked at a stat on this, and Cleveland Clinic says sunscreens are generally formulated to be good for about 3 years. But if you see any sign that it's separated, it's going to depend somewhat on the conditions in which you store it, how long it's been open.
And what's it made of?
Yeah, and if it's separating or has changed color or smells funny, I mean, smells funnier than it smelled at the beginning, uh, then you should definitely let it go.
Right? And the same for insect repellents too. Like that's like the height of chemical. You're just pouring a chemical spray on yourself in order to deal with insects, right? And I get why you want to do it, but it is residue and oils, and God only knows within the things. And so we do not want to be using insect repellents that are 5 years old or 10 years old. No, no, no. Needs to go. So pack a small travel kit with sunscreens and sunburn treatments and first aid and insect repellents. Make sure it's all stuff that you vetted or that you purchased new. And then make it a waterproof zipper pouch if you have one that is waterproof, or a Ziploc bag if you don't. But these are all things that are liquid and staining and will be a problem if they leak. So you want to put all these things together in a Ziploc bag for however they're going to travel with you on your trip. Whether you're going to be just going to the beach for the day or whether you're going to the pool from the house or whatever, however you're going to move it around. You want it in something so if the cap comes off, if something goes wrong, if somebody sits on it, it's not going to explode sunscreen and insect repellent all over everything in its path. So isolate those things and make sure that they're waterproof so that you can manage them and you don't have a big mess to clean up. At the very least, all you have to do is take the things out of the zipper pouch and throw the zipper pouch away and run the cans under a sink. So that's what you're aiming for is, the easiest possible cleanup if something goes wrong. Next thing you're going to need is a water gear bag. So whether you're going to go to the pool or the beach, you really want the same stuff to go because you're going to go hang out in water. So you need a big canvas handle bag for this gear and maybe need two of them depending on how extensive your gear is. And you might even want to have a kid's bag and an adult bag because some of the stuff that the kid's going to take to the pool is not going to be what you want to take to the pool. If you have a gear bag already and it's hanging around from last summer, then the first part of your job is to pull everything out of that bag and make sure the bag is clean and restock it with fresh stuff. So at the end of the season, you're a little tired and maybe the bag just sort of went into the closet or went into the garage or got shoved somewhere without anybody doing anything with it. So I'm guessing you're going to find some funny stuff in there. Mostly when I for, do this for clients, when I pull out a bag like this and say, "Oh, what's in here?" Oh, okay, let's refresh it, and I pull out evidence of food, which is like there were snacks in there at some point, and then there's like dead wrappers, or there's a leftover, like here's the piece of candy, or here's an old candy bar, or here's a hunk of a hot dog that didn't come out of the bag. Like you find some stuff that you don't realize is in there. So it's definitely a bag that needs to be refreshed. And the cool thing is that most of those bags you can just throw in the wash and wash them if you want. Like if they had a lot of sand exposure and they're gritty already, you're getting ready to use them at the beach again, or you're getting ready to take them to the pool and have them be outside. And so you might as well give it a wash before you start loading it back up again. So the idea is get the bag clean, get all the stuff out, start fresh, and you want to reload it with all, freshly clean stuff. And of course, you're going to want towels and floaties and goggles if you wear them. Kids are going to want toys. You might also want to have like drinkware and pool safe serving pieces. Like if you're going to have a koozie to go with your drink, or you're going to have some plastic cups, or that you want serving like plasticware that you can put food on, and so you may want to have that kind of stuff in a bag. You're going to want beach blankets if you want to have, like, if you don't want to just have everybody has their towel on the beach, if you want to have a blanket on the beach. And so those kinds of things all need to go in this gear bag. And then you may also be taking things like umbrellas and folding chairs. They're clearly not going to go in a canvas bag, but you want to bring them along. And so it should be part of the cleaning process because they likely went into the garage dirty or lightly dirty, and then they sat in there and got cobwebs and stuff all over them over the winter, and so they need to come out and be dusted off at least, or hosed down or whatever, to make them clean for the new season. So this is where you go and pull all that gear out from everywhere that it landed and go find the collection of beach towels that you have. And I was just having this conversation with somebody. We think of beach towels as a separate pile from the regular towels, and it's because they're extra big and they're very usually brightly colored and graphic, right? And for some reason, we collect a whole bunch of beach towels, and then if we don't go to the beach that much, I'm not sure why we have 47 beach towels. But it is a collection that grows in people's houses that I usually have to talk them out of half of them because like nobody's going to the beach anymore, or the kids aren't coming to the house anymore, or whatever, and half the linen closet is full of beach towels that haven't been used for a decade. So it's one of the collections that you should focus on and filter because it's taking up a lot of space, and if you're not using them, you might as well pick the favorites of the ones you have and release the rest to a pet shelter so they can use them.
Well, and as I was collecting ideas for this topic, one of the things that came up a lot was mentioning that all your plastic stuff is is damaged by the chlorine and UV exposure.
Oh yeah, yeah, it gets
Um,
brittle.
and so you want to pay attention to whether your pool floats still float. and whether your goggles and masks still keep water out. Check all
Right.
of that. Try all those things out. Make sure your super soaker still works.
And the plastic, the plastic cups aren't crumbling from heat exposure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. All that is true. Okay, so that's the gear part of this process. And then let's talk about some other stuff. One thing that I always keep packed is a toiletries bag, and we've talked about this before, just in general terms about travel. And it's certainly true if you don't start traveling until the summer because kids got out of school or whatever. Now's the time to get out your toiletry bag and refresh it. So I keep it stocked so that I'm not having to pack all of my daily use products into a travel bag to go on a trip. I either buy small versions or wait until a regular product bottle is mostly empty. And then I let that be the travel version. When I get down to a quarter of the bottle, I pull that stuff out and let that be a travel piece. And so then this stays in the toiletry bag all the time. And so you can go through it all. It's the beginning of the season, pull the stuff out and, throw out the trash and go in and wash out the bag a little bit and repack it with things that you would take on a trip and your regular products. Find them now and not be trying to find them 24 hours before you fly away somewhere. So now's the time to dig it out and refresh it and renew it for the new trip season, the new flying season.
No,
It,
he hasn't been. Sorry.
he does. The dog's doing something.
Sorry. Yeah.
So, one thing that people find in their luggage and toiletry bags is souvenirs and mementos from the previous trips that they forgot to take out. So that's one of the things you want to go retrieve. And maybe there's some paper detritus that's left over from your travels. And so it's one of those things where it's one of the little bags where things get stuffed when you're in the middle of a trip and you forget to take it all back out. So now's the time to go restock, refill your toiletry bag and make it work. Another thing that happens in the summertime is that you have to get out the summer only clothing, the part of your wardrobe that you only wear when it's 1,000 degrees outside. So the sandals and the flip flops, the swimsuits have to come out, the sun hats have to come out that you don't wear any other time of the year. And that's all likely stored in, like if you do seasonal flips of your wardrobe, it's likely been stored away for the winter, or it's in a specific part of the closet you've ignored all this time. And so it's time to pull that stuff out. Are the shoes still comfortable and they haven't fallen apart? That's very important. Any shoes that sit in the closet for long periods of time, they do deteriorate in place, and depending on what they're made of, they may not have survived a year or 2 or 5 in the closet. So you need to go dig out all those things and see if they still work. Got to check the swimwear and see if the elastic has died. That's one of the things that happens. Like if they use cheap elastic, the swimsuit may be fine, but the elastic may have died. And so it looks good, but it's not going to stay on you because there's no elastic that's working. So you got to filter for that kind of stuff too. So go dig all those, pull all that stuff out. And this is in the decluttering priorities. This is how, it's seasonal that you're pulling the summer wardrobe out. Now's the time to pull it out and filter it. Did it survive? Can I still wear it? Do I still like it? Is it ready to be donated or trashed? And so filter, and find all the things that you are comfortable to use this season and release the rest. And then very clearly, oh, I need a new swimsuit because the elastic died, or last year's swimsuit is fine and I don't need anything new. So this is how you can, crunchy swimsuit, right? You don't want to pull out the swimsuit the day you need to go somewhere and suddenly it's crunchy. Yeah, that doesn't work at all. Totally true. So just this is a seasonal directed, organizing project. All of the gear that you only wear in the summertime because it's cool and you're by the water and that kind of stuff. Drop zones. So lots of people they operate with a drop zone in the house where they come in the house and the kids, offload everything that they're carrying. Here's where the backpack from school goes, and here's the shoes that I wore to school, and now I'm putting on the cleats for the the team gear, and like it's the interchange place where the kids go in and out of the house, or the adults go in and out of the house, and they let go of, they bring in what they're bringing in and drop it, and then trade into summer clothing and home clothing and home activities, and then they come back out and they're taking things back out. So it's an exchange place where things come in and out of the house and get parked. During the rest of the year, maybe it's the kids are using it for it's all school stuff. But in the summertime, of course, they're not moving backpacks back and forth, and so it's a perfect time to stop and go, okay, we've been using this place for school all year long. It's time to go to the drop zone and refresh it and clean it up and reset it for the summer and dig out, this is the perfect time to face the school work that's been coming in and getting dumped all season long, all school year long, and time to pull it out, filter. How much of this do I need to keep? Why does the kid need the math homework from this year? They don't. They're going to be taking math class again next year. So there's all this stuff that sort of gets dumped in that zone that needs to be pulled out and thrown away or recycled or whatever. And, the coats probably need to come and be washed. The coats and the sweaters they've been using all season, it's time to pull it. They're not going to use them for a couple months. It's time to pull them off and get them washed or take them to the dry cleaner. It's time to take the shoes out and see, can they still wear these shoes? Do they still fit? Have they destroyed them? They're kids, right? So there's all that kind of stuff happening. And the same is true for adults. Like if somebody is coming home from work, and this is where they dump stuff when they come home from work, and you haven't paid attention to it for a while, use the trigger of the summer, because now you want to have, your pool gear and your beach gear and your summer activity gear to be available to go in and out of the house. And so use this time to reset and clean up that drop zone, regardless of how it's been used for the amount of time, for the school year part of time. Yeah, and like I said, we all agree paper is our nemesis. This is a category of paper. If you have kids bringing paper in the house, this is where some of that paper ends up. And so make sure you go through it and pull out your keepsakes and get rid of the rest. Future you will thank you for having done that every summer. So outdoor entertaining is another thing that starts happening as we get to the summer and everybody can hang out outside, and you want to get ready for that outdoor entertainment, and that means everything needs a once over. You got to inspect it and clean it. There's all the table outside and all the chairs that you have to deal with. You need to pull out all the pool party gear, all of the furniture that you sit on, all of the grill tools and things that you bring with you, and anything you do to decorate the backyard, all that kind of stuff. So got to get all these things out and get to fluffing them up. What didn't survive the winter or took too much damage over the last summer, you're going to find things that, the summer finally cracked it, or the chair is now broken, or somebody sat on it too long last year and they finally broke it down. This is where you look at all of the options you've got stored out there and dig it all out and process it. You didn't buy it all at the same time. Some of it you tried and you didn't like. So it's time to filter every new season, come in there and look at everything that's there and find out if you still want it, and get it down to the essentials that you're going to use this summer and get rid of the rest. So the list that I have here is coolers, furniture, outdoor cushions, outdoor decorations, candles, torches, bug zappers, picnic gear, and grilling gear and supplies. If you're a big griller, then now's the time to go out and open the grill and start cleaning the grill out and find out if you still have all your grill tools and whether you like them all. And did you get a new set of grill tools at Christmas time and you need to incorporate it into use? And this is where you review all of the stuff that you have and see whether you're going to, use it this summer or not, and release some things before you start the season. I think generally people take the cushions and they either put them in an outdoor box that's sealed, or they bring them in the house. And so mostly the thing about the cushions is that they don't typically get destroyed by exposure as much as they just get old and dirty. And so If you can wash the covers, great. And if you can't, maybe it's time to trade them out. But a lot of the stuff that sits outside, and if you have a really harsh winter, like maybe it's getting all crunchy and the plastic's getting beat up because of the exposure to the freezing and the cold, and so you don't want one of your guests to go sit on something or lean against something and have it crumble under them, fall apart. So now's the time to find out if everything's in good shape, and you can still sit in it without ending up on the floor. For those of you that are gardeners and you're out there starting to do your gardening thing, you're going to clean up from last summer and prep for this summer. So you want to find and clean up your gardening tools and pots. And I'm guessing that these are going to be in the garage, they're on the back patio, they're on the front patio, wherever you've left them. But it's time to go dig them out and find them and see what condition they're in. Check out the hoses and the sprinklers to make sure they didn't fall apart over the winter. I actually had somebody came and knocked on my front door at like 7 o'clock in the morning one day, scared me to death. And I got up and went to the front door, and she's like, "There's water pouring out of the front of your house." And I
Uh-oh.
was like, "What on earth?" And I went out there, and what had happened was the hose that was strung into the faucet at the front of the house split under the pressure. And so the water was just pouring out because the hose had finally come apart. And so it's something that, yeah, you think hoses are going to last forever, but they don't. They're plastic, or they're materials that are affected by the winter and the summer heat, and the winter freezes, and they can get compromised. So just check them out. Dust off the lawnmower and the wheelbarrow. They've been parked somewhere and they've grown cobwebs, right? So you can go in there and dust all that stuff off and clean up the blades and get ready for a new season. And tending that equipment now means that it will work better for you for the few months you're going to use it, and get rid of anything that is not really useful for you anymore, including if you have a bunch of garden chemicals. Pay attention to those. They don't last for forever either. So you want to go in and filter them for, am I really going to use this chemical that I tried and I didn't like, or that I don't like the smell of, or I don't like how I have to apply it, or whatever. So don't just accumulate them into your garage because you can't be bothered. You'll one day wake up and have to move, and you'll have 500 containers of garden chemicals that you have to do something with all at once. So now's the time to filter it slowly and in pieces over summers, over various summers. You go find your pots and planters. You have a bunch of empty pots somewhere. So time to go pull those out and clean them up and see if you're going to use them. And I think anybody that does this kind of work, it sits dormant for the winter, and then all of a sudden it's like you ramp up and it's time to garden, and then there's all this stuff that you have to do. And so if you're an active gardener, then spending the time to clean up your tools and getting ready to go, you're the one that's going to benefit, right? Because you're the one out there sweating and doing all the hard work. The last one is for Ed. We added the kitchen and pantry into the list because you got to get out the picnic baskets and check on the paper goods that you're going to take with you onto those outdoor activities. And so check on the supplies that you're going to feed the grill. So your condiments need to be pulled out. What have you got? How much of it do you have? And are they still in date? You really don't want to be using some expired condiments. They have longer shelf life, I think, than other stuff. And the ones that are in the fridge are probably okay. But, if somebody didn't like it and you tried it and it wasn't a good idea, like, let it go. And don't rebuy a bunch of condiments without checking what you already have. So look for anything that you bought for last year's picnics and barbecues, like that can of beans or the s'more supplies or the ice cream sundae toppings. You want to pull them all to the front of the pantry so they get used up this season, or donate them if you tried them and you didn't really like them. It's the summer version of shop your own store. So before you go to the supermarket for supplies, go through everything you have and see what you can use now and what you will never use and can let go. And if you go through everything in the pantry before you go shopping, you won't end up rebuying things that you've already got multiples of in your house, in the pantry, that has been shoved to the back and forgotten about. You may find some things that you intended to try last summer and you never got around to it. So now's the time to pull it out and have that experiment after all. That is the summer collection of things to focus on in decluttering. And in general, you know the rules about it. Do it in small pieces. Schedule appointments with yourself, and you're just scheduling around summer activities and summer vacations instead of regular work and holiday seasons. So it's just the summer version of wedging it into my calendar so that I can work on this stuff.
I wanted to ask you why, where do you think we get this idea that we're going to have more time in the summer?
Oh, because it's a kid's thing. Yeah. When you're
We
in
we
school,
learn that
yeah.
and we never unlearn it when
We
we get
never
out in the
release
real
it.
world.
We want it to be there forever, right? I mean, think about what it's like for kids. Like they get off school and then they're like, "Oh, I can lay around and do nothing and run around outside and call my friends and sleep until noon." And like unless the parents schedule a million things for them to do, they get to do nothing. And we all dream of those 2 months of nothing. I would love 2 months of nothing. That would be awesome. But we're not French and we don't take off the entire month of August as adults. So unfortunately, I think they figured it out. Everybody declares in August that they are doing nothing and they get a whole month to enjoy the weather and relax and rejuvenate. And I wish we would do that everywhere.
Okay, let me share a few comments. Deborah says, if I'm going on a beach holiday, all I'm taking is sunscreen, deodorant, bar soap, toothpaste, and toothbrush.
There you go.
When I'm traveling with my guy bestie, we share deodorant and a toothpaste. We also travel only with a small backpack when it's a beach holiday. I bring flip-flops and two dresses and two pairs of underwear and one bra. We wash the salt out of our clothes and swimsuits and towels nightly, hang them on the balcony, put them on again the next morning.
There you go. That is minimalist beach traveling right there.
Yeah.
Good for you. And I think that there's something about you don't have to wear a lot of clothes. It's the nature of being in the water that you're going to be wearing a swimsuit and nothing else really. And so you don't need to be traveling with a bunch of stuff. You just need to be comfortable and covered and basically clean. And that sounds like a lot of fun to me.
M says the only thing worse than crunchy swimsuit elastic uh, the day you need it is elastic that seemed okay until you're on the beach.
Right? That is not when you want to find out that it's not actually okay. Yes, which leads me to say we really should try on the stuff before we load it in and run. Yeah, 100%. Oh, sunglasses. Yeah, I'd add sunglasses to the list. Yeah, I definitely have to have sunglasses. And pasty white chick, right? Like I can't go out in the sun for long periods of time without sunscreen. So um, I definitely, if I'm going to plan a day outside, I have to be covered.
We didn't
Very
list
annoying.
sunglasses in the,
Oh,
I
it's
guess those go in
true.
the they sort of go in the personal care products, I suppose you could
Mm,
say, or
hmm.
um, or on the
Summer
list with
wardrobe.
hats or wardrobe. Yeah, but
Yeah, yeah.
um, check them out because if you just threw them in a drawer and they've been rattling around, you might find them a little too scratched up to wear again this year. So be sure
Or
you
broken.
evaluate your
Mm.
sunglass collection.
And see if you still like the wear.
Yeah.
And we all try a million sunglasses, or we get somewhere and we realize we forgot them and we buy an extra pair or whatever. And so, if you have a big accumulation of sunglasses, you might want to go through and say, "Yeah, I probably don't need all these. I can probably let some of these go." It's true.
M says, in the summer, the truth is you have a choice between a tidy garden or a tidy home, according to my gardening friends.
Well, the thing about gardening is it takes just as much time as it does to clean the house. Like it is like there's always something else you can do in the garden. It's
Yeah.
really quite incredible. And so I am not a big gardening person at all, but my across the street neighbor is, and her yard looks great, but she spends an inordinate amount of time doing it. And so
Yeah.
you're right. Like if you think gardening is fun and you like having all the greenery look beautiful, then I guess you're giving up your time to that instead.
CJ says, I try to focus on the outside so it looks nice and keep visitors in the garden, then hope they don't need to use the bathroom.
Yeah, I think that's a slight flaw in the plan because everybody's going to need to use the bathroom at some point. My dad's a big griller. My brother-in-law's a big griller, and so they do a lot of, they do a lot of grilling this time of year, and there's a lot of cleaning involved with being able to be out there and grill and not have it be a disaster. So if you're going
Um,
to do something out, if you have an outdoor space that you need to maintain, you're going to be, it's like cleaning the house, and you're going to spend a bunch of time out there messing with it.
D in the Sierra says, I just found a small bottle of ketchup in my friend's pantry that was opened and forgotten. It was dried out and hard as a rock.
Row, yeah,
Ooh.
that's a good one to get rid of. Nice of you to throw that away. Oh, she's talking about she's cleaning a pantry for a friend,
Yes,
and
yeah.
so that's a project she's been working on. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like we open stuff, we try stuff, and it ends up shoved in the back of the fridge, and you haven't seen it for 6 months, and you've forgotten it's back there. And then when you pull it out, you're like, really? Nobody liked this flavor, or this seemed like a good idea, but no. Or you opened one and then you forgot it was there and you opened a second one. And so you've got two or three open simultaneously. And this is where it's like, okay, can you consolidate them? Can you get it all in one bottle and throw one of the bottles out? It's a way to reduce the volume that's in the fridge and not be running concurrent. Don't be opening a fourth bottle. I'm just saying, go in there and find them all.
Connie has another suggestion for the, I guess this is for your travel bag or maybe your
The
pool
toiletry
slash
bag.
tool or your pool slash beach bag. She says,
Oh,
I have a fan in my bag. Not everywhere has AC here. So
mm,
yeah, the means to fan yourself either manually or with a
or
little
plug in.
battery operated, right?
Battery,
Or
yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You're right. That should have been on the list because nobody likes to be on the beach and the air gets still and you can't stand it anymore.
Suzanne says, I have the memory of going to the beach with a skirted bathing suit. When I was done swimming, I walked to the shore. The skirt was literally down to my knees. I can't imagine what that looked like. My chest was still completely covered. No crunchy, but the skirt fabric stretched.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, sometimes they just don't survive the winter, right? Oh,
Oh, Connie specified
wardrobe
that
malfunction.
Connie specified that the fan is of the Spanish kind. So,
Ah, fluff, 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 fluff,
yes,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Gotta have that. You're right. It should have been on the list. You're 100% right. It's got to be willing. It's got to be able to survive the beach too. It can't be a pretty fabric something.
Let's see what else.
What are we pre-testing in the bathtub? Oh, the swimsuit.
You
That's a good idea,
Yeah, you can also pre-test in the bathtub for your goggles and your goggles and masks.
right? To
Uh,
make sure they're still watertight.
your snorkel. Make sure your snorkel is not damaged and leaking.
I've never done that, but I can guess that the gear is it's also rubberized plastic stuff that must lose its ability to insulate, right? So they spring a leak just because they don't stay tightly anymore.
Right, right, right. The mask. I like masks instead of goggles because of the way I'd rather have them on my cheeks and forehead than like right
Yeah,
up in my eye sockets. And
yeah,
they have little, they have I don't know what the material is. It's a plastic of some sort, uh,
rubber.
or silicone, rubber or silicone. I'm not
Mm,
quite sure, but it definitely loses flexibility over time.
mm.
And I think uh, I sort of assume that the pool chemicals cause it to break down a little bit over time. So
Oh, that's
because
true.
it's
Reacting to
leakier, doesn't
chlorine or
doesn't
salt water.
yeah, doesn't fit as snugly against your face.
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
Deborah says, I have four personal fans, two Spanish kind, and two handheld chargeable electrics. I use all of them.
That's all right. As long as they're all in rotation, that's a good thing. Yeah. Still air is my nemesis for sure now. So This is what happens to menopausal women. If the air is not moving, you're dying. And so we all accumulate an ever burgeoning collection of fans to deal with it. 100% true. What are you planning to do this summer? Are you going to do anything, Ed?
Nothing planned for the summer because well, we might make a beach trip at some point. Don't know. We haven't planned it yet. We want to do a Houston trip, but summer is definitely not the time to do that.
No.
We will save
Yeah,
that
we
for a
haven't seen
cooler
you in
month.
Houston for a while.
No, long time.
It's time to come visit some peoples.
Let's see.
I think I will say that it's also the time of year, like the organizing that we tend to do, like we get in the garage and we start dealing with things that are going to go outside, go on the trip. Here's the camping gear, here's the pool gear, here's the yard gear. And so we get outside and we start messing with all this stuff in the heat and get hot. And so I would say try to balance how much work you're doing in the heat versus doing something in the house so that you can cool off a little bit. It's definitely if you spend all the time outside, you're going to wear yourself out faster than if you give yourself a little bit of break. So pick work on the summer wardrobe stuff in the house and then go do some stuff outside and then come in and work on the toiletries bag, go outside and do something else. And so I'm just saying, give yourself a little bit of schedule break so that you're not outside the whole time.
Yeah. On the subject of summer seems like you should have all kinds of free time, but more, things constantly crop up to fill the time available.
Yeah.
M says summertime also may require pedicures.
Yes, 100%. Because you need to, because you're wearing all those flip flops and sandals. So 100%. Yeah, that's a girly thing, but we all want our toes to look pretty when they're sticking out. Yeah, it's 100% true. I still
Well,
wear tennis shoes a lot during the summer too, because I'm wearing tennis shoes when the to go to work.
well,
But
we talk all the time about how you can take a small subset when you're dealing with a pile of clutter decision making that overwhelms you. We talk about, take a little bit and take it somewhere else. And
right.
I think, in the summer when it may be too in some climates just too unpleasant to do the work outside, you could do the same kind of idea for your garage or the outdoor stuff, and that is bring in a small sample that you can work through inside the house
Hmm.
where it's cooler.
And on a floor that's easy to clean up.
Right, 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 right.
Because it's going to come in with, grass and leaf debris. You cannot imagine the things that I pulled out of my garage when it was time for me to move and that had like bundles of because the garage door was open a little bit at the bottom for the cats to go through. And so the guys would come and do the yard. And then I guess just debris from the yard cleaning would get blown into the garage. And when I started pulling all that stuff out, there was little, whirlwind pockets of stuff everywhere that was related from the yard. Like, oh, Gail, you have not been paying attention to the garage. It was embarrassing. It was a
Su
mess.
Suzanne says, great idea to test equipment, especially the snorkel before you jump off a boat.
Yes.
Smart people probably always check that their equipment hasn't dislodged or had an injury, and life jackets go bad too.
Oh, do they really?
I can imagine that, especially if you just, if they just get thrown in a place, maybe
Mm,
still wet, they're gonna they're gonna funkify and they have fabric components that will certainly deteriorate over time.
right. Yeah,
Um,
and outdoor storage is always affected by whatever the humidity level and, temperature. It's either super super hot or it's, sitting out there soaking up water because the humidity in the air, like the exposure to the elements is so much higher in outdoor storage than it is in indoor climate controlled storage. And so,
right.
yeah.
JB says, heard on the radio this morning about a guy who was camping and dropped his sunglasses into the porta potty. When going in after them, he fell in, and emergency services had to get him out and sanitize him. Good example of the let it go lesson.
Oh my
And
God.
no
Oh,
mention in the story of whether the glasses were retrieved.
oh my gosh. Or perhaps, don't take the sunglasses into the porta potty with you. Oh my gosh, what a nightmare. I can't even contemplate that. That's horrifying. That is a pool I do not want to swim in. Where's the grabber when you need it? You need a grabber and then you need to boil it somewhere. Oh my
I
gosh.
if they've fallen into the porta potty, that's just to let it go. That's
Right.
there
Like it just,
there is no redeeming that.
right? Yeah. That's ew, ew, ew. Y'all are being funny today. Oh, Pat has her hand up.
Oh, okay. Let me
Hold
ask
on. He's
Pat
got
to
to do his thing.
go ahead, Pat.
Unclick yourself. There you
There
go.
we go.
Hi.
Okay. Hi. Just when you said that all that stuff was in your garage, there's a really big difference between clean and declutter or organized.
Yes. It's true. It's 100%
Because
true.
I
Two
can feel
different skill
organized.
sets.
Yeah, I can feel organized now most of the time, but cleaning is just not there yet.
Hey, that's okay because if you're organized, at least there's less to deal with, right?
Yes,
The chaos invites more dirtiness. And so
yes,
if you're organizing it and moving it around, you're doing some dusting and cleaning as part of that process. And so you're knocking it back at least. So good for you. Good on that.
yeah. And I do have a friend that comes once a month. Just we work together on it. So,
Oh, that's cool. So you do it as a team?
yep,
Hey, I like that arrangement. You know
yeah,
what? That's like if you had a friend, like if you don't want to pay a maid, if you had a friend that you could like you go to her house and she comes to your house and y'all trade out once a month. What a lovely idea.
yeah. And then we order pizza.
Awesome. I love it. Cleaning payback is pizza at the end. I love
Right.
that.
That seems
Perfect.
very reasonable.
And what a convey like you get to see your friend and yeah, everybody's cleaning, but I bet you're laughing a lot anyway. And you're
Yes.
talking to each other and telling stories as you go. And so how much fun. What a great idea, Pat. I love that. Thanks for sharing.
Okay, we are about out of time. I want to remind our audience that we'll be back for our next live webcast next Tuesday at the usual time, June 30th. We do not have our topic selected yet, but watch your email for an announcement. Gail, why don't you give us the title?
This week's title is Summer Days Drifting Away. This week's assignment is to make progress in at least one category of summer related clutter. So reflect on the categories of summer stuff that we talked about in today's show and identify an area of focus in which you have a current clutter problem. So here's our list for a reminder: personal care products, pool and beach gear, travel related stuff, your wardrobe, drop zones, outdoor entertaining, lawn and garden work, and kitchen and pantry. And then schedule an appointment this week to spend time evaluating, decluttering, and organizing the category that you picked out of the list. And then come back and tell us about it next week.
Okay, if you're watching this on YouTube, we would love for you to join us live. To get notifications about upcoming events, we invite you to join the meetup group by visiting cfhou.com/meetup. You can also follow us on Facebook by visiting cfhou.com/Facebook or join our mailing list by visiting cfhou.com/subscribe. We'd love to hear from you, so please keep your comments, questions, and topic suggestions coming on YouTube, Facebook, or anywhere that you find us. You can always reach us through the website at clutterfairyhouston.com.
We hope that you're having a lovely start of the summer here. Now that it's mid-June, we actually have summer temperatures here in Houston. And so we know that everybody's going to be running around and doing fun summer things. So work on decluttering and getting out there and having a good time as your reward. Like Pat said, you can have pizza after you declutter something. Or you can head to the pool. So we hope that you will have a good start to your summer and come and tell us how it went next week. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.